Welcome to today's Musky Tales podcast, which is brought to you by one of our sponsors, Take a Vet Fishing. To learn more about their organization, please visit takeavetfishing.org. Today on our podcast show, we have Neil Vackar. Thanks for being here, Neil.
Thank you.
So appreciate you coming by. Today, I think we're going to talk some walleye fishing, huh?
A little bit walleye, yes.
A little bit of walleye and maybe some other stuff too, huh?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
winter crappies.
Okay, winter crappies as well. Sounds good. If you could, give me a little bit of background about, how you learned about Musky Tales and kind of how you were introduced.
Musky Tails I found on Facebook. One of my friends suggested that I like your page.
Okay.
And I looked at it, and one day out of the blue I stopped in, and I believe I met you, and there was a DNR or somebody was in doing the shocking.
Okay.
And they gave me input on where to fish,
Uh-huh.
and it went from there.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
We're talking about 18 months, maybe
Okay.
20 months ago.
So probably 2018 sometime then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we've done a couple of those DNR events, which is just a great opportunity for us to learn about the waters and the stocking and everything other, which we may even talk about here today of different species. But it also, is a great chance for people from the area to kind of, come see what it's all about. So,
Yes.
Do you remember, did you actually get some time? You mentioned that you did talk with somebody from DNR that day, or?
Yeah, we talked. He just he showed on the map that you have on your wall of where they're getting the most numbers when they're shocking.
Okay.
And he gave me some ideas where to go.
Okay.
And following week, I took my son out,
Okay.
and we did very well for my first time out on the chain.
Okay. Yeah, it was probably Frank with the DNR, and he's kind of a friendly face here as well. And
Yes.
you've obviously over the last 18 months have become another friendly face here.
Yes.
So we appreciate you being around. And I know we recently have you kind of joined our pro staff, so thank you for being involved in that capacity
Thank
as well.
you.
And,
Looking forward to better things, coming in the future and everything. So.
Yeah. You've obviously been a big hand with things and programs we've done here. So before Musky Tales, before you kind of came to Musky Tales world, I should ask too about your friend that mentioned about the page. Is it someone that is locally or someone I wouldn't know?
I don't think you know them. I think they just stopped by for a sandwich or something.
Okay, so not one of our regulars.
No,
then.
It's not a regular.
Well, tell him or her thanks.
Yes.
So, sounds good. So obviously you've got some fishing experience before coming to Musky Tales. Tell us a little bit about your background and kind of, where you've been in the fishing world.
Probably like most people, I started off fishing with my dad at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
They bought my parents bought a summer home up in Wisconsin in Post Lake.
Okay.
And my dad worked every week, so you come up on the weekends, and every little time we have, early in the morning, he's knocking on the door at 6 o'clock to go out fishing for bass in Northern.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, I enjoyed fishing with him, spending time with him. And then during the weekdays in the evening, it was with my mom. She loved to crappie fish.
Okay.
So for 2-3 hours every night, we go out fishing, and then she'd clean the fish. And every Friday, when my dad come up, we'd have a fish fry ready for him and everything. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
So the whole family affair, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Good
Yes.
deal. And you got different shifts.
Yes.
So
yes.
all right. So and then you mentioned the cleaning the fish. Do you do a lot of that yourself nowadays?
Now I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you learned that trade from mom, huh?
Mom and dad.
Yeah, mom and
I
dad.
probably couldn't do it as good as what mom did. So,
Okay. Yeah.
But
I'm not necessarily good at that, so very good. And then, do you have a favorite species to fish for nowadays, or?
the favorite is walleye, of course.
Okay.
I started in high school for a passageway for my uncle when we graduated high school. For all his nephews, he took us to Cass Lake in Minnesota
Okay.
for a fishing trip, and I got hooked on walleye then. And
Okay.
it's been, after graduation, I joined the Navy, so I was there for 6 years.
Okay.
And no fishing for 6 years until I came back and started fishing Post Lake again.
Okay.
My father told me over the years, because kept sending letters before we had email, almost said email. He would just say, hey, we're collecting money for stocking walleye in our lake. Can you help out? Sure, thing. And when I came back, I just started looking for them, found them, and now I'm hooked from walleye ever since.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been doing a lot of the tournament circuit at all, or that really wasn't something you did over the years?
It took a while. When I first got out, it was just fishing Post Lake,
Mhm.
and there was another organization before, when the internet first started, was Lake Link,
Okay.
and I met a lot of friends from there,
Mhm.
a lot of great, amazing fishermen,
Mhm.
and then became friends that they did tournament fishing, so I would go out pre-fishing with them, and then I got into a couple circuits.
Okay.
Started out as a co-angler,
Mhm.
and then worked my way fishing with a partner,
Okay.
and
Any circuits that you're fishing now or going to be fishing in the future?
in 2018 it was a WWA, and then I took this year off, and
Okay.
then I'll be back in there this year with Mike Fear.
Okay.
So him and I
Sounds
will be fishing good.
okay.
So
Sounds good. Yep. Looking forward to that season then. So.
yes,
So now you mentioned the Navy experience. You probably couldn't jig for walleye off of those boats, huh?
no, they would
No?
troll for something out there. For they would let us go slow enough. I think out of the 3.5, 4 years on the boat, I only seen one fish pulled up on the while we were
Okay.
out,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Not a regular thing.
not a
so.
regular thing. But it was kind of funny when they did the call. Hey, all lines out the back.
Yeah.
And of course, it was always after trash duty. When you throw all the trash out, then you throw the rods out.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So, and then with the Chain of Lakes area, how long have you been in this area then? And
I lived here for over 20 some years, but I never
Hmm.
fished the chain until 2018.
really?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that?
Just because I had the summer home up in Wisconsin, and then I was fishing other circuits, and
Mm-hmm.
just I was one of the guys scared of all the boats you hear out there.
Okay, that's what I was kind of wondering. Is you got a water close to you?
Right.
Okay.
But learning the last year and a half, 2 years, I've learned that it's not really factored much.
Okay.
You just pick your times and when to go out.
Okay. So don't go Saturday at noon fishing, and
Yes, Saturday at noon and a hot day, it's
it's tough.
yes.
All right. Yeah. So and like you said, pick your times and all that. Is the chain fishery in general what you expected, and not knowing, I guess, much about it?
Not knowing much about it, it's probably a lot better than what I thought it would be.
Okay.
It's an amazing fishery for
Mhm.
walleye, for other species too. I mean, we have, you see nice crappie come out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I've the biggest northern I've caught came out of here this year.
Mm-hmm.
40 plus northern that I caught.
Okay.
Walleye, I've caught an 8-pounder, couple close. Just amazing. And you see the musky that this year I've caught many small muskies.
Mm.
Anywhere from 18 inches up to 39 inches.
Okay. Intentionally or walleye fishing?
No, just walleye fishing.
So you're walleye fishing and
Yeah.
you're getting musky. Okay.
So the variety of all the different types of fish out here
Mhm.
is just amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then do you typically just target the walleye in the summer months, or are you trying to fish other things like the crappie, or no?
If I'm going for crappie, it'll be in the spring or winter.
Okay.
But mostly when I'm out on open water, we'll say I'm going for walleye.
And are you targeting certain times of day, certain water temperatures? What are you looking for?
It really it doesn't affect me because I'll go out early in the mornings.
Okay.
On the weekends, early in the morning, I'll get out before the boat traffic gets really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then the evenings, right before dusk, you get to bite before dusk. So
Mhm.
you just never know. I stayed out late at night. That's where my biggest walleye during the summer came, was late at night.
Okay.
So,
Any theory with that the bigger fish are moving at night, or?
I
What
don't
is
think
it?
there's any theory to
No?
it. I
Okay.
just, just the boat traffic is
Just
calming
happened to be
down.
when it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
trying. Maybe a couple more years, I'll get a better theory on it.
Yeah,
But we'll
right,
see.
exactly. Do more night fishing and see
Yes.
what comes out of it.
Yes, less boat traffic.
Yeah. You
And,
show up late to work the next day. So say you were out fishing.
yes.
So when you're walleye fishing, are you trying to use certain colors or certain baits, or what are you working with?
It's you get your favorites. Everyone has their favorites. Jigging, as you guys, jigging early spring. I like the jig minnow.
Mhm.
Everyone has their favorite colors. Like I said, the chartreuse jig that we have
Mm-hmm.
is nice. And then I follow it with the white jig, just like these.
Okay.
And I love minnow in the spring jigging.
Okay.
A lot of guys will they'll pull a jig with a crawler or a leech on the bottom of the jig, and then up they have a 3-way with a regular hook floating another bait.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of guys pull through the rivers, stuff like that.
Okay.
And they do very well.
Do you prefer live bait versus artificial? Doesn't matter. Time of year.
At time of year and what they're biting for, you got to be very flexible.
Yeah.
You got to be very flexible. As you know, we carry many different baits. Everything, you just can't lock in. Especially when you're tournament fishing, you're gonna run into that issue. If you don't have the different variety, you're gonna come up short in your tournaments.
And in tournament fishing, do they allow live bait, or is it just
okay? Yeah, walleye they allow live bait.
Okay, all right. Doesn't matter the kind. Any live bait goes.
Any live. Well, it's got to be
right. Exactly. Other than within the legal system,
you can't catch a perch and use that.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Okay.
But yeah, it all depends on the type of year, and I'm learning my second year.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the changes of where the walleye move around to and everything else.
Okay. And the tournaments typically, early morning through the early afternoon type of thing, so you kind of learn those patterns,
right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And tournament season, what's the months that it goes?
They have a few in the spring.
Okay.
And then they have a couple early summer, and then late summer. I think they have one in the fall.
Okay. So. And are there other circuits? I know you mentioned the WWA. Is there?
There's other circuits, and I just this habit. It's a habit. It costs a lot of money, and it's you got to save up, and if you start traveling, what's so nice about the WWA here is local. And I'm not paying for a hotel and traveling to there, and the food's every day. Everything's right here. Yeah. So that's what's been very appealing to me here.
Yeah. And it's a good group of people. A lot of them come through here as well. So,
yes, great people, and it's just I'm learning a new system. And this is a mix of different type of systems that I've done. So now I just gotta fine tune my techniques and get better.
Okay. And I know you had mentioned you're going to do some of the tournament stuff with Mike Frere. He's obviously got a strong background in the crappie fishing and doing that stuff. So does he fish walleye a lot, or do you know, or are you going to kind of lean on each other?
We're going to lean on each other.
You're both good fishermen.
Yes.
So.
That's what this year, this spring was our first trip together. We talked about it the year before getting out, and we just kept, I'm just pretty much, I was like, whatever, I had a fishing partner. It's, we'll get out when we can and everything. But this spring, we definitely made a date. We went out. We had a great night out. It was early spring. I think we had that bad storm. One of the storms were inhaled. We went out afterwards, and it was dark, and we started catching fish. And he's on the phone asking for one of his friends what to fish for. And we just, first 2-3 hours, we didn't get anything. And then I'm like, we're changing it up. We're going to, he's like, well, they said to go pitch jigs up shallow. I'm like, well, we're going to go trolling. Okay. And we hit them pretty good that night.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah, we got to figure it out, try different things. And that's what's nice. You got a bunch of time to learn and just keep trying, just keep plugging away at different things.
And as you said, Mike was talking to someone, and I'm sure you obviously have your sources that you ask questions on, and different people do different things to catch fish. But you learn from different people and pick it up and apply it yourself. So, and sometimes you got to do it on the spot, like you said. You're like, well, we're gonna troll. So
well, you're not afraid to ask questions. You don't need to ask them where to go.
Right.
Just give me a technique or whatever. Telling people that are out there on the water, just keep your eyes out. Watch people. Watch what they do, where they fish. You'll learn, where the fish are from just where other boats go.
Sure, yeah.
And that's what I do. I don't ask another angler, tell me specifically where you're going. Just
pay attention.
If you have a hot color, it'd be nice.
Right.
I know where the fish are. It's just, you just have those little struggles once in a while.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and are you changing baits up a lot, or is it...
once
you're on them, you keep...
When we start trolling, we put up different colors until we find a nice color, and then you look, work with similar colors to that one. Different depths, different times. You
Mm-hmm.
just don't know.
Yeah, I know people say that walleye is a real finicky fish in general, even when feeding. Um,
I don't think they're that finicky.
no, you don't
No,
think
they
so?
no, they can be
Okay.
very aggressive. Especially if you get a shallow walleye in the weeds, they're
Yeah.
very aggressive.
But don't people say that when they hit, sometimes it's very difficult to tell if you have them on? I mean, you say they're aggressive, but
It all depends on
yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
It's just like when you're ice fishing or whatever else. If you're watching the rod,
yeah.
you can miss so many fish because they're just inhaling that bait and spitting it back out so quick.
Okay.
So you just gotta know the different feeling of your line when it slacks or
Okay.
something. Try and set the hook. You just don't know.
Maybe I just suck at walleye fishing.
Yeah,
So-
maybe,
so-
maybe. Or you're
I'll have
not
to go
going
out
with the right people.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I'll have to go out with you and Mike, I guess. So, sounds good. In terms of the fishing experiences, you mentioned early on, that you went out with your parents, and it was kind of a family thing, and then you kind of touched on the fact that you go out with your son as well now. So, is he into the sport as well as much, or?
Not as much as I wish, but I
Mhm.
mean, it's just like any parents. I'm not forcing it on them.
Sure.
I'll ask him every time I go out. I'll ask him, "Do you want to go out?" Some days he says yes.
Mm-hmm.
He'll tell me that night, "Yeah, I want to go out." That morning, he's like, "No, I don't want to go out."
Sure.
So I don't force him when he wants to go out. He
Yeah.
knows that I'll take him out and everything else, and he enjoyed himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
His first walleye was a 22-inch walleye, so
Okay. So you know how to clean fish yet?
no,
Not yet. All right.
no,
So, all
no.
right.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to go
Yeah,
out so
exactly.
much.
There you go. All right. Does he like to eat fish?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
So, all right. And you got certain fish, I guess, ways of making them in terms of either batters or presentation or what?
If it's a crappie and walleye and stuff like that, it's I swear by shore lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm doing, I don't eat much salmon, but if I'm cooking salmon, I like to put it on the grill
Mm-hmm.
and marinate it with a nice, I guess it's Lowry's marinating 30-minute. Just let it marinate and
Mhm.
let it steam on the grill, and
Okay.
it's all good.
All right. Well, I know you like your cooking just from
Yes.
being around here. So,
Yes.
yeah. Do you have culinary background or?
No, my
No?
my uncle was a maitre d, and
Okay.
he loved to cook. And just talking with him, I just learned and
Yeah.
gone over things. And
Learn, paid attention, and listen. Huh?
yep,
So, all right.
just like the finer things in life.
There
Good food and
Yeah.
good company, and just that's all it is.
And good fishing.
Yeah, there's good fishing that provides the food.
So there you go. Yeah. Sounds good. And with the youth stuff in mind, I know you've always been a strong supporter here when we do events and are doing different things. So with that youth movement, are there certain groups or things that, you support in general?
I'll work with any youth that wants to go out
Okay.
with their parents. Being Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing about it is the one thing that people are afraid of is these days with youth.
Mhm.
You got to have a background check, everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the Boy Scouts, I'm a leader, so I'm already qualified as
Okay.
a youth leader.
Okay.
So it's hard with the youth. They got to be involved. I mean, there's so much for them to do now.
Be distracted with, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's distracted, but they got to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
And with the Boy Scouts, you get them at the age where they want to learn to fish, then you can go from there too. So
Does your troop or the groups that you work with, are there certain outings that they do on the water?
every other year, there's a badge requirement for the Boy Scouts fishing badge where they got to catch a fish, clean it, cook
Okay.
it. So yeah, we do an event. Every other year we'll
Mhm.
take them to one of the forest preserves and have a fishing weekend
Okay.
where we talk about it and
Mm-hmm.
let them catch the fish and bait their own hook and everything.
And do you find that most of them, it's kind of a new experience for them, or a lot of them
Yes.
already? Yeah, it is.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah. So get them out there at young ages as early as we can. And
yes,
yeah, we get a lot of the kids, as you know, that come through here that are 4, 5, 6, 7, years
Yep.
old, and it seems like they're very excited about it, but they obviously don't know anything. But just to kind of get them engaged
Right.
at those early ages is important, even if it's as simple as painting a lure or doing something just to kind of get them excited.
yes.
So-
That is this right, and I think we've talked about trying to get single parents, one just
Mhm.
not single moms or anything, but single parents, grandparents that
Mhm.
they have custody of their kids,
Mhm.
that their kids ask about it, but they're afraid to go find place.
Mhm.
Contact one of us here,
Yeah.
at Musky Tails. There's so
Absolutely.
many opportunities for the kids to get out there, and I'm willing to take them out.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
no, and you guys have always said that you're willing to take people out just to show them what to do, and it's not a guided service. It's just getting out fishing and having some fun on the water and learning.
right,
So,
getting the
okay.
kids active and
Mm-hmm.
want to do it more and more.
Okay, yeah. Is there any trends or movements or things within this fishing sport that you would like to see over the years, whether it be youth or
I
other
think that's one of
programs?
them is
Yeah.
is the single parents getting their kids out there. Not,
Okay.
if if you I know you have a short time with them on the weekends or whatever, but seek one of us out here at Musky Tails, and we'll
Mhm.
take them out fishing and help you out
Okay.
if they're wanting to learn.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of guys out here that will do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're gonna have time in between the tournaments, I hope. So.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
always make time for the kids and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Sure.
So
Okay.
it's called pre-fishing.
There you go. Yeah.
Take it-
Exactly.
I get more rods out with kids out on the boat and
Yeah.
have them reel them in. So.
And you got your ice fishing gear ready, or what?
I'm in the midst of getting it ready. I think
Okay.
I'm going to be upgrading
Okay.
because Mike wants to do the tournaments. So
Okay. Yeah. So doing some ice fishing then, and then have you ever ice fished walleye in the past, or?
I have,
Yeah.
not a lot,
Mhm.
but I caught them occasionally here and there and stuff
Okay.
like that. So.
Yeah. Do you see or have you heard of good walleye coming from the chain in the winter months? I know crappie's a big thing out here, but
I've heard that they're pulling them out, and I want to find them this year. That's
Yeah.
one of them.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
biggest walleye you've seen come out of the chain yourself?
For the ice or for
Either.
any-
Any.
I think there was close to over 8 pounds, 9 pounds were
Okay.
weighed in.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And that was tournament, or
yeah, that was tournament.
Okay. Yeah. And we've
Early
seen
spring and
when you talked about the DNR to start the show, we several years back there were some 10-pound walleye that were actually pulled from when they did the nettings and stuff. So there's some big fish out
I
there.
believe it.
Yeah.
There's big fish here. So.
Yeah, yeah. And then, do you fish other waters locally, or?
I'm gonna start learning more of Lake Geneva.
Mhm.
I only fished it one time, so
Okay.
next year I'm gonna try and get out there more.
Okay.
What was it? Trying to think of the one lake I tried this year. I can't remember, Shelby or something, or
Shelbyville down south, or
yeah,
no? Was it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Is that the small crappie? Home of the Musky Lake.
Yeah, it's crappie and musky. Yep. And I
Yeah.
don't know about walleye, but I know crappie and
Yeah,
as
small
well.
lake. I tried that,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I want to get back up north. I want fish up in Winnebago,
Okay.
Fond du Lac area.
Okay. I know there's a big tournament on Winnebago, right?
There's many tournaments
Well,
out there.
there's- isn't
Yeah,
it-
they have the Mercury. They have the Mercury. I think it's a Mercury.
It's a big event. I know.
Yeah, one of the
whatever, yeah,
Mercuries.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay.
And once in a while they'll have one of the bigger tournaments come in there. So
Okay. Okay. All right. And then,
Mercury opening. It's
well, is that an open water? Yeah. That's
yeah,
gotta
it's
be, obviously.
you got to have a Mercury motor.
Yeah, no, the one I'm thinking of is I think is an ice event of some sort.
Battle of the Bagel.
Battle of the Bagel, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
such a big thing you
yes.
hear about. So that'd be a
Yep.
pretty cool thing to see. So
Yes.
So alrighty. So how many days do you think a week or a month that you're on the water? Are you fishing quite a bit, or?
I'm during the spring and early summer. It's 3 to 5 times a week. I'm
Are
out.
you really? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so I enjoy it, even if it's for an hour, 2 hours. I'm out there just to
Mm-hmm.
try and wet the lines and enjoy the scenery out there. So,
Right. Yeah. Okay. And what can you tell us about, I guess, the lakes management and DNR here in our area? Do you know much about it, or?
I haven't really talked to them much.
Okay.
I know they're, I see them out there trying to, see how healthy the fish are.
Mhm.
Talk to people that run the tournaments and how involved the DNR is making sure the fish are healthy when they get released and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
they're very, they want this fishery to be here for a long time. So.
Is it stocking only, or do walleye reproduce, or?
They will reproduce,
Yeah.
and I'm not quite sure if they do stock the walleye or not. I think
Okay.
they do,
Okay.
but they will reproduce.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and it's you notice it. I'm catching small walleyes, the small fries. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. And as far as the Lake Geneva, you mentioned that you'd like to start trying to fish that. You fished it once. I know there's some big walleye on Lake Geneva. What do you know about Lake Geneva or Delavan or some of the other waters?
Like not much about Delvin. I haven't really followed it, but Lake Geneva, crankbaits, trolling crankbaits.
Okay.
I have not heard much about jig fishing there or
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
But it's a clear lake and it's nighttime bite.
Mm-hmm.
Very clear lake. So
Okay. Yeah. And as far as organizations, we touched on the WWA, the kids thing. Is there other groups or
take the
organizations?
vet fishing.
Okay.
As you know, at any time of the year, I'll take a vet also fishing out with us.
Mm-hmm.
But no, take a vet fishing. I'm passionate about.
Sure. Well, obviously with your background in the military as well, so
Right.
yeah, and you can appreciate that. How many times have you participated with the Take a Vet events?
I've done 2 events with them. Since finding out, that was 2018 was my first time, and
Okay.
then taking a few other people out that asked. So
Okay. After the events, even?
Yeah.
Okay. And just kind of kept in touch with the vets, yeah.
yeah, well, just in general, just talking to people,
Okay.
mention,
Through the event, yeah.
I wear the shirt and people ask about it, and I
Mhm.
said, if you really want to go, I'll take you. And
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Sure. Yeah, I'm always wearing, fishing sweatshirts, as a lot of us are, obviously. But the other day I had my Take a Vet sweatshirt on, and somebody else just approached me and started talking about it. So,
Right.
wearing that type of stuff goes a long way. So, good marketing and PR all around. So, in general, you got any fishing, I guess, either stories or favorite tales growing up or experiences?
I'll share there's many stories and everything.
Sure,
Some are
yeah.
good, some are bad.
All
But
right.
one of my favorite ones is when my uncle did take me out for first time walleye fishing.
Mm-hmm.
When I graduated high school, was up on Cass Lake, Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
and he had his roommate come down with him and everything. And his roommate never fished in his life before, and we went out all week, very slow. They always bragged when I was a kid. It was my dad went with my grandpa and my uncle to Cass Lake fishing,
Mm-hmm.
and they come back with big perch, walleye. They stories they had, everything else. The first 5 days, we barely caught any fish. It was a really bad trip, and my uncle's like, I'm gonna get a guide.
Mm-hmm.
And fishing with my dad, I had guides.
Mhm.
They had nice boats, everything else, and he gets this guide, and guy, meets us at the launch, and it's a 16-foot rowboat with a 9-horse on it.
Okay.
I'm like, what are we gonna catch in this thing?
Yeah.
Older gentleman, and we get in the boat. We took a while to get out to the spot, and he goes, "This is a spot." He goes, "First fish, $5 a man." And as he's saying it, he's already casting into the lake. And we all are like, yes, his line hits the water, plug, he catches a nice perch.
There you go.
We all lose $5. But
Hey.
the best part of the day was my uncle's friend, Philip, roommate, hooks into a northern, and he's in the front of the little rowboat. You're right up here, just really close. He's just right up in the front. And that northern just comes straight out of the water right in front of him, just flopping like this.
Mm.
And it came back down and it went behind him, did the same thing, came back one more time in front of him. And it was a nice northern,
Mm-hmm.
27-inch, 30-inch,
Mm-hmm.
And so his first northern, and my uncle leans over to him and goes, "So how you like fishing now?" After he lands it, and he goes, "Well, don't tell anybody, but I think I peed my pants." And you got a little scared with that thing flying. And I don't blame him being that close to your first time.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the funnier ones.
That's a good one, yeah. Nobody will know if you're in the boat that your shorts are wet, huh?
Yes.
So, good stuff. As far as the waters, you mentioned Cass Lake in Minnesota, and I'm just kind of thinking, going north. Have you ever fished in Canada at all for walleye?
I've did one trip up in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the resort we were on and what even lake it was. I can't. It was
Long ago, or?
It was probably about 15 years ago or
Okay,
something.
yeah.
Maybe 13 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
It was like Pinewood Resort and
Mhm.
everything else.
Mhm.
It was had a good trip up there. It's like I said, when I'm out fishing, you know, I learned the structures of what type of structures of fish,
Mm-hmm.
and I listened to people tell me, you tell me to go this area or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And as a resort owner, they want you to be on the fish so you come back and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And the resort owner told me, he goes, hey, go out to this little hump out on this lake. They don't tell you it takes you an hour to get out to that
Right.
lake.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But we got out to that
They got
lake.
all day up there. So.
Yeah, got out to that lake, and I'm just going really slow, looking for the hump he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I see all these other boats off to my left,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty far away, and I come across this hump, and I go, told the guy I'm with, I go, let's just drift across this thing and see what we're getting.
Okay.
And started catching some nice walleye,
Mm-hmm.
and 17, 18, few in the mid 20s, and we come back to the resort, and we, they go, oh, these are nice. Where do you guys, catch them? I go, I went out where you did. He goes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, same thing, bringing back fish. He's like, all these other guys, after the third day, the owner goes, he goes, where are you guys fishing? Because I was out there today and I didn't see you guys.
Okay.
And I'm
you
going,
were in the wrong spot.
I go, I guess I was in the wrong spot. He goes, everybody I talked to are bringing in these little 14-inch fish, and you guys are bringing in these nice fish, but where are you guys? I go, I'm in that spot you told me. He goes, are you sure I was out there today? And I'm like, I'm positive we were out there. And he goes, I was with all these boats. There's like 10 boats out there, and you guys weren't among them.
Right.
And I go, oh yeah, those 10 boats were away from us.
Right. Yeah, we knew where they were. We saw them.
I go, I was at one boat way off, and he goes, that was you guys? And he goes, yeah. He goes, are you fishing a hump? And I go, yeah, there's a nice little hump there.
Right.
Little bar. And he goes, well, I've been, I lived up here for 35 years. I never, and he went there the next day, and he comes back, he goes, I've been here for 35 years. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
He started catching fish. So you never
Dumb
know.
luck you got on them, huh?
Yes.
So, yeah, and that's that's like anything with fishing is you got to try different spots, find different spots, even if it's out of the ordinary. If something ain't working, move, that type of thing.
Yeah, well, if you see too much pressure in one spot, they're going to move over a little bit.
Yeah,
So.
and sometimes it's those spots that you don't think is going to hold the fish where they're exactly sitting, almost like they're out thinking us. So.
Yeah, but one of my favorite places is probably Mobridge, South Dakota.
Okay.
We had a tournament there. I qualified for Cabela's National.
Okay.
Going out 250 boats. It's a dream come true seeing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to get back to, is making the national championships. But that was a great fishery.
Okay.
South Dakota, Mobridge. It was just one of the best walleye fisheries I've seen in a long time.
Really?
So,
okay. Yeah, and that's what I was kind of thinking is, here Midwest is obviously a good place in general to fish walleye, and heading north up into Canada. But at what point, heading south, do walleye, not really? It's
I hear them all the way, walleye in Arizona, stuff like that.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, see, I wouldn't have known that. No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So down in Kentucky, they
good fishing there
yeah,
too.
They say there's good walleye fishing in Kentucky, and
Cave Run or other. Or,
this was down by E-Town, Elizabethtown.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I've never
ventured
down there or anything else.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So there was good walleye fishing even south, huh?
Yes.
So, and then out east, I know there's some good fishing out in some of the rivers in Pennsylvania and stuff too. But as far as the tournament you mentioned in South Dakota or North Dakota, it was
South Dakota.
South Dakota. What did you do to qualify for that? You mentioned you qualified.
I was in IWT, Illinois Walleye Trail, out of the Illinois River.
Okay.
My partner and I, we were team number 7. And I think they were going to take 5 boats. 2 other people already qualified for winning the championship, and then 1 other people, so we're next in line to represent the trail. That's what it's about. You're representing the circuit that you're fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And we got my partner was not able to go, but I took someone else with me, and it was a great experience.
Okay. Does that circuit still exist, or?
Illinois Trail, yeah, it does.
Okay. And when was the last time you participated with that trail?
That would have been I think that would have been 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they do events in this area at all?
It's all down south in Illinois River, and then they do a couple on the Mississippi.
Okay. Okay, so kind of bigger waters in
Yes.
that regard. So,
Yes.
and
Different fish, different type of fish.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, I guess let's talk quickly about the the river systems versus your lakes and things of that nature. How different is the walleye fishing?
They act a little different. Some like the current, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they like where the current will stop, and so they could just relax there. They're not working so hard,
Mm-hmm.
and then they use the current to ambush their prey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they say fish the current,
Okay.
because they're looking for those minnows that are struggling, and they just fly in there and grab their prey and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know. The river fluctuates. The level of the river fluctuates a lot more than a regular lake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just got like you find your favorite spots and
Mm-hmm.
structures.
Okay.
The wing dams is where the slack water comes out for the sandbars are. You look for those.
Okay.
And
And are you doing that same theory here in this river system in terms of looking for current, or is it different?
It's different.
Mhm.
Some say I hear fish the currents, and I've fished the currents. I've done better in areas that had very little current.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends. You just got to know the time of the year
Okay.
when they're moving in that area.
Okay. You hear people talk about bridges and fishing bridges for the walleye and stuff. Is that
It's true because
Yeah.
that like I said, why they buy the bridges? Because you got the fast water
right?
right by the pylons.
Okay.
So the fish love to sit behind those pylons,
Okay.
and then they go right in that quick current and grab their prey. Real
Okay.
quick.
Yeah, because you mentioned earlier that it's an aggressive fish in general. So, is that kind of what you meant by being aggressive? Is
Yes.
they're obviously a predator
Right.
fish. And,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you like a lot of people, if you're in the shallow weeds and you hook a walleye, they do hit pretty good.
Okay.
So
Okay. Do you do a lot of weed fishing then?
I up in Post Lake I was. I have
Mhm.
not done it here, so this year I want to focus more on fishing a lot more weeds for them,
Mm-hmm.
and then actually probably focus on doing slip bobbering this year
Okay.
and try and find more of the walleye in the summer with the slip bobbering and
Oh,
stuff like that.
Okay. One thing that I hear just from people coming through, which I always was different than what I had always thought, I guess, was people were always saying that you could catch some pretty good walleye in shallow water, even. And
Yes.
Same with the muskie, and
Yes.
you find muskie in a foot of water, and
Right.
I don't know how shallow the walleye will be, but people say
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
you can
find
get up.
them
You
in
can
really,
get them
really
up there.
shallow
I mean,
water.
you'll see them up by the break walls where it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
They're warming themselves.
Mhm.
I read that if you have a boat ramp that blacktop boat ramp that gets flooded
Mm-hmm.
because the sun beats on that blacktop, it
Mhm.
heats it up, and the walleye will come right up on that boat ramp right there.
So they're looking for warmer water.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
I think it's all depends on your structure. It's you hear the sunnier it is around here, the walleye will hit when it's a lot sunnier than it is, and I've done really good when it's sunny.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, but you catch them at night too, so
Yes.
that doesn't really
Right.
work with that theory. But yeah,
Right.
so you just got to figure out different applications, I guess.
Yes.
So okay. And as far as the crappie fishing, anything you want to touch on with that at all? Or?
Just what I've recently done out here and seen. I mean, there's some really nice crappie out in
Mhm.
this down. I'm fishing for walleye. I'm catching nice crappie.
Mhm.
Trolling
Okay.
the crankbaits. And it's the thing about with Mike Fuhrer and it's I'm going to lean on him during this ice season to
Mhm.
put me on some nice crappie, and
Okay.
I've seen some of the crappies he's been catching and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Uh-huh. And you touched on some of the reading that you had learned about any publications or things that you read, any certain types of newspapers, magazines that are, I guess, good for the youngsters to kind of pick up
you
on.
got what's the magazine you have here? The
Midwest Outdoors.
Midwest Outdoors is great.
Okay.
Just these. What I'm noticing this last year is, on Facebook, there's all these different groups.
Mhm.
There's different people's different group. You got wood. What is it? Out Outdoor North Woods.
Okay.
Um,
Like an online
yeah,
forum and
well,
stuff?
it's just a group on Facebook
Okay.
that you're just sharing information. You got Illinois addicts, fishing addicts.
Okay.
Just recently, I just joined their group.
Okay.
You got Chain of Lakes walleye fishing, Chain of Lake musky fishing. You
Sure. Yeah.
know.
Just get out there.
Mikey Fuhr has a crappie one that he hosts. They're out there just for people to ask questions and just you know just there's like I said, there's a lot of us that are there to help other people find fish for their families and
Sure.
everything.
Yeah, well, with today's technology and online presence, yeah, it's easy to find information, and there is a lot of different groups and forums to gather that from. Even stuff in terms of the daily water temps and wind speeds and things like
Yes.
that. You want to try and be able to find, stuff that's going to be useful for your fishing. Couple baits that we have sitting on the table here. We've got some blade baits, we've got some divers, things like that. How do you go about, I guess, going out for the day and deciding what you're going to throw first?
It's what you're comfortable with.
Mhm.
What areas it is and what you're doing. In the spring, I'm going to be throwing the jigs. Like I said, I'll
Okay.
be pitching jigs
With a minnow.
with a minnow,
Yep.
and then slowly drawing a crawler.
Mhm.
Just having that sit on the bottom, bouncing off the bottom. I know Mike mentioned that he, slowly just pulling minnows,
Mhm.
just like I said, the 3 ways with with 2 minnows on it,
Mhm.
and he's done well with the walleye and crappie. In the spring, you just got to know where to go and look for them.
Mhm.
And then I'll switch over to crankbaits if the jig's not working. More probably middle of May.
Okay.
I'll start trolling crankbaits.
Okay.
And then if those aren't doing good, then I go back and try and find a spot where I could jig. Uh, Crankbaits, like I said, most of the thing I've fallen back to is I like pulling the crankbaits. I get 3 baits out there per man, and
Mhm.
I could get my different colors out there and find out what it is needed, the depth of it, the speed
Mhm.
I need to be at. I could find that out really quicker than I can jigging.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm covering more ground and
Right. Yeah. And sometimes the products will catch different
yes.
species of fish.
Each crankbait has a different waddle or
Yeah.
a different
Yeah,
number
so-
of beads in it, makes a different noise.
Right.
And it's the same with the jig heads too. You find your favorites, use it.
Right. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to try, but once you find it, buy it in bulk and
Buy in bulk, yeah,
Yeah.
and then take that color, huh?
yes.
So, yeah, do the colors change a lot for you then, or
They do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's guys swear by the purple here.
really? Yeah.
I've caught more on other colors,
Mhm.
orange and
Okay.
and
Probably
green
because you
and
use
so-
them more too, then.
right. But you just don't know.
Right.
It's your technique, what you feel
Right.
is going to work for you
Sure.
that day. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and when you got another person out, then you can change your, then you got 6 baits out there with you. And
Yeah. Yeah. What are the regulations for walleye fishing for those that don't know?
it's just if you're under motor,
Mm-hmm.
you're allowed 3 pulls per man.
Okay.
If you're not, it's just 2 pulls per man. Or 4 hooks or whatever it is. So,
Okay. Okay. And then do you do the blade baits much, or?
Not much.
No?
I want to get back. That's another technique I want to try is
Okay.
crawler harnesses.
Okay.
I've done on Green Bay. I've done very well with those.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, I just haven't had enough. I don't want to say time.
Right.
It's
Just haven't
enough.
switched it up.
No,
enough.
yeah, I just haven't had the patience to switch.
Right. Exactly. If you're catching fish.
Yeah, if you're catching fish on a certain technique, I'm not going to switch.
Right.
But maybe now I want to start so I could have different techniques when one fails.
Right, yeah, and I know the crawler harnesses are popular, and all you're doing is it's got a weight a little bit above, and literally you're just dragging it along the bottom. Is that what's kind of going
Yeah,
on?
you could have. Yeah, you could have. Well, no, you're just getting it in a target zone.
Okay.
So you have your weight, inline weight that you
Okay.
put on, and behind you have your little blade with the crawler harness.
Okay.
in the back, and it all depends on how heavy the weight is, how far depth you want. You know, trolling proficient. You know, they have the app now. You could dial in what it is, and you just got to keep going where you find what the exact is, and mark it down. Remember it. How far each bait goes back, so you know.
Yeah. Okay. And what are the regs out here for walleyes in terms of size and quantity?
On the
and all
chain,
that?
it's you're allowed 6 fish per man.
Mhm.
14 to 18 inches, you're allowed 6 fish.
Mhm.
You're allowed 1 fish over the 24 inches.
Okay.
So we have a slot of no, release of the 18
And
and
the
24.
24. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come in that aren't familiar with that. So we get a lot of people that are, very serious about their walleye fishing. And
Yeah.
then during the summer months, we get a lot of people that just come up for the weekend and come in here and buy some minnows or worms and go out for the day. And, they're asking us questions, obviously, a lot of times when
Yeah.
they come through. So appreciate you sharing some of your thoughts and knowledge, and look forward to trying to get out on the water with you
Yeah,
sometime this
we
year.
kept saying it for the
Yeah.
last times. We got to get you out on the walleye fishing instead of the musky
Grab
fishing.
me and go. So that's what we got to do. So, all right, good
and-
deal.
And then the events that you're having coming up is we have a lot of ice fishing events, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of ice fishing events and open water stuff as well. But yeah, we got a pretty full calendar. I'm excited about 2020, and obviously with you being involved with some of these things that we're doing as well. It's we got bigger and better things ahead for all of us. So.
Yes, we do.
So good stuff. Appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you.
So thanks, Neil. Take care.